So last episode, we went over the basics of D&D.
There was a last episode?
Today on D&D Basics, we're going to be making a character. And I think we should make you a character.
Okay, yeah, let's do it. Intro music, Johnny!
Feeling alive with myself. Don't know if I can tell all of you. Feeling alive with myself. Don't know if I can tell all of you.
Let's pretend you don't know anything about D&D.
Fuck, what is D&D?
I don't know. So let's pretend you know from the last episode what D&D is. You don't know anything about making
I have a firm grasp on the concept of Dungeons and Dragons.
So we're going to make you a character.
Okay.
All right. To make a character, a lot of people start off with just a general concept of what you like to play.
Okay.
And a lot of people kind of get stuck on that because it's kind of overwhelming if somebody just being like, what do you want to do? And you're like, I don't know, what can I do?
Yeah. When people ask me, I like to explain, you can do anything you want. Like, do you want to, like, fight stuff? Do you want to be, like, a faith guy? Do you want to be, a dummy thick, steely boy? Or, like, what do you want to be?
Yeah. A lot of the way that I do it with newer players is I will ask them what's one of their favorite media personalities. What's one of their favorite characters in, like, Game of Thrones or Star Wars or any, like, show or movie like that.
Yeah.
Take that character and kind of work with your DM and figure out what that character is and make something from that. So who's one of your favorite?
I got one straight from the beginning. One of my favorite characters in all of fiction is Geralt of Rivia from the Witcher series.
It's a good one.
Yeah, the Witcher games and books are like some of my favorite just things ever. Okay. Absolutely.
Okay. When I first started playing D&D and I didn't know anything about it, somebody was like, "What kind of character do you want to play?" And at the time, I was like really into Legolas from Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't know, man. I just want to skateboard down shields and shoot bows at people.
Okay.
Entire bows out of larger bows.
Well, we just shoot a bow. It's the bow.
It's the bow. And somebody was like, "Yeah, go play a ranger."
Okay.
So my first character was a ranger. So with Geralt, I think he's a ranger.
So I've played rangers myself. I played a ranger in Pathfinder when I played Pathfinder. Ranger would be a good fit. They're a nice balance of like being able to track and then fighting and the magic. Yeah. And that's exactly what Witchers are. So I think a ranger fits perfect.
So we'll make Geralt a ranger.
Okay.
And that's one of the like 9 or 10 or however many classes in the core game of D&D.
There are so many.
But the base from the core rulebook are rangers, rogues, fighters, paladins, clerics, wizards, sorcerer, bard, barbarian, and monk.
Okay. Hey, can you clear something up for me? What's the difference between a wizard and a sorcerer?
Oh, God.
Do you not know? Do I
No,
have to
I do.
explain it? Okay, I was about to say.
No, the difference between a wizard and a sorcerer is, in the simplest, shortest way I could put it, a wizard is taught magic, a sorcerer is naturally good at it.
Okay.
While like a cleric gets their power from like gods and stuff, a sorcerer just pops out because of like bloodline stuff and is like, I know how to do some magic.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Magic.
Yeah. No, that works. Perfect.
Yeah.
Great explanation. Thank you, Chance. Very cool.
Very
Glad to
cool.
see you on the show today.
Yeah. Twitch.tv/chanceofrain. Those base classes are what you're going to find in your base core rulebook. There are other classes and honorable mentions like gunslingers and war priest and stuff, but those are all in advanced books. We'll do a later episode under that.
Yeah.
But now we're going to stick to those classes. So Geralt is a ranger.
Geralt is a ranger.
And the next step in building a character is deciding upon a race.
A race. There are so many.
Race should be pretty self-explanatory for anybody that's played any games or
role-playing games in general.
Or like watched any medieval fantasy, but like for D&D.
Thank you.
For D&D, the races are humans, elves, dwarves, orcs, half-orcs, gnomes, and halflings. I might have missed one. I don't know. I think those are the main ones.
Okay.
And you can talk with your DM if you want to play any other races, but for Geralt, what do you think?
So my favorite race specifically is orcs. Geralt is not an orc.
Geralt is not an orc.
in any sense of the word. I would think that Geralt would be one of two things. He would either be a half-elf or a variant human. Because Witchers are humans that have been mutated to have the abilities that they do.
Right.
But I think we're going to keep things simple, not really talk too much about like variants.
Yeah.
So we're going to go with a half elf.
Okay. All these different races are going to have different things they're good at. They're going to have different racial bonuses, is kind of what it's called. Dwarves, for example, I know in Pathfinder have stone cutting. Naturally, dwarves, anything they see with stone, they get like a +2 perception or something. So stuff like that. All the races are good at different stuff, obviously. So, Geralt, half-elf ranger.
Half-elf ranger.
And this is where it gets fun.
Okay.
Attributes, or ability scores.
Oh boy.
Attributes and ability scores are what you kind of hear the most about, and also what builds the foundation of your character and what builds mechanically your character. The ability scores and attributes are strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma.
Okay.
So those are the building blocks that your character is made of. Whenever you hear somebody say, oh, roll me a strength check, roll me a dexterity check, that's what it's referring to. Basically, the number that is assigned to each of those ability scores determines what's called a modifier. So all of your ability scores, it's kind of agreed upon in most systems that 10 is average.
Yeah.
Your average person walking down the street is going to have a 10 strength,
Yeah.
a 10 dexterity, etc., etc.
And that's gonna be a +0.
+0 is the modifier. As those numbers get higher, the modifier gets higher.
Okay.
So I think at a 12 you get a +1, at a 13 you get a +1, at a 14 you get a +2, and it goes on like that. There's a chart. I don't know if Phoenix put a chart right here. There's a chart for the whole thing, and that's where it all comes from.
Okay. So Chance, how do we decide those attributes?
That's a lot up to your DM.
Okay.
I know you and I do point buy
Yes.
on the games that rerun. That's a little complicated to explain verbally.
Yeah.
At least for me it is.
We need charts and data.
Charts and data and stuff.
Yeah.
A real easy way and kind of the standard way is to roll for them.
Okay.
So you take 4 6-sided dice
Yeah.
and you roll them once for each ability score, and then drop the lowest, and whatever number you get is a number you have, and then you assign those numbers to an ability score.
Okay.
So that's what we're going to do real quick. So we're going to take 4 6-sided dice,
That we are.
and we are going to roll them 6 times, once for each ability score.
I only have 3. Shit. This is would it be our video if it wasn't a shit show from the beginning?
That's true.
Just talk to Phoenix.
Hey, Phoenix. How you doing? How's college?
Is Phoenix in college?
Phoenix is in college.
Oh.
I don't know what for. We like to joke that, I don't know if it is a joke. No, Phoenix has a degree in,
Subliminal marketing.
what the fuck was it? Fuck, what's the thing he says? It's like space brain surgery, but we like made it sound like astroneurology or something.
Interesting.
Like something that doesn't exist,
Yeah.
but it definitely exists. So we're going to take 4 6-sided dice, and we're going to roll them 6 times.
That we
once
are.
for each ability score.
Okay.
With those numbers that you get, you're going to assign them to each ability score as you see fit. Some DMs will have you do it. If you roll the first 6-sided dice, that's your strength score. They'll like kind of assign it for you.
Yeah.
I like assigning them ourselves, so we have a little bit more control.
Like after you're done rolling them.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and take our 6 dice, or our 4 dice.
Okay.
So roll your first set. So we have a 5, a 4, a 2, and a 2. We'll drop one of the 2s. We'll do 5, 11.
Okay.
So we have a 4, 3, a 3, and a 2. We'll drop the 2.
So
And that'll
that's
be
4, 5, 6, 8, 10.
10.
Oof. Bad. Not a good roll.
Third roll is a 6, a 2, a 4, and another 2.
So we drop one of the 2s. 12.
12.
So far, not great rolls.
So far, not great rolls. Because like we said, we want to get above 10, because as high above 10 as we can, because 10 is average. So 8, 9.
Ooh. All right, and how many more? 2 more times?
2 more.
Yeah.
So a 4, a 1, and a 1. Now, some DMs will
It's
have you
another 9.
re-roll ones if they're generous.
Yeah?
I do that. I have them re-roll ones.
Okay.
So, but we won't do that this time.
When you try your best,
So, but we won't do that this time.
Please subscribe to our Patreon.
Okay.
We'll stick with what we got.
All right, so that's a 9.
It is a 9.
And one more time. 2 6s, a 3, and a 4. So we're going to drop that 3. That's a good roll.
That is
12, 16.
16.
Thank God that's over. Yeah. All right. So we
have our numbers. We have an 11, a 10, a 12, 2 9s, and a 16.
Okay.
Now, in that order, some DMs would have your 11 be the strength, your 10 be the dex, but we're going to choose where they go.
Okay.
So, with Geralt of Rivia, that 16 is going to be the highest stat.
Yeah.
Out of those ability scores, where do you think that 16 should go?
I definitely think that should go to dexterity because playing the games, and if you know him from the Netflix series, if you watch the Netflix series, Geralt knows how to use a sword very well. It's more like dancing when he uses a sword than anything. He's incredibly skilled, and that's a lot of dexterity checks.
Okay.
So I feel like that 16 is definitely going to dex.
Okay. And I think, from what I know of the Netflix series, the next highest stat being the 12, we wish that was a little higher.
Yeah.
But that should go in intelligence.
I agree. And Witchers have to know a lot about a lot of different monsters, and that's a lot of knowledge checks.
And Geralt specifically is a smart dude.
He's a very smart dude. So he's not incredibly wise.
No.
He's a very smart man, just not incredibly wise. So that 12 is going to intelligence.
All right. And the rest of those we can kind of just throw around.
Throw in there. I think that one of the 9s should definitely go into charisma.
Yeah.
Because Geralt himself is not a charismatic
Kind of rough to
figure.
hang around with.
He is. When he opens his mouth, he's not a great conversationalist.
So the formula that you plug all that into, that 16 in dexterity is the one we're going to be focusing on. That 16 brings you to a +3 dexterity modifier, which
Okay.
means that anything involving dexterity will get a bonus +3. And what that means is when you roll for a check, you roll a 20-sided dice. One of the numbers being added to that dice roll will be that +3.
Okay.
And the DM will determine what number you have to beat. That's the whole game.
Yeah,
you're
right there.
You're trying to beat numbers. So if you wanted Geralt to climb something and require, like, climb a rope for dexterity.
That would be an athletics check. Or at least in mine, that would be.
Right. Well, let's say it's dexterity just for this example's sake. So let's say you were having Geralt climb something and using a dexterity check in this example. I, as the DM, would be like, okay, I have determined that this rope is a 15 difficulty to climb.
Okay.
You would have to roll above a 15 after adding all of your dexterity. So if you rolled a 12, you add your +3, you hit 15, you climb the rope. That's the whole game.
Yeah.
So we have your ability scores, we have your attributes, and we have the modifiers. That's the important part. Because those modifiers are all going to be added to your skills.
They are.
All of these modifiers that you get from these ability scores are going to plug directly into your skills.
Okay.
Skills are more specific things you can do. While strength and dexterity measures your just general strength and dexterity,
Okay.
skills measures your ability to sew, your ability to perceive, stuff like that. While charisma might involve both bluff and diplomacy, that's two different skills to be able to schmooze somebody and lie,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, no, I get you.
So basically what you're going to do is each class gets a certain amount of skill points.
Okay.
Rangers get 6 points, plus their intelligence modifier.
Yes.
Geralt is a 12, which means he gets a +1 modifier, which means he gets 7 points to distribute between all of his skills.
Yes.
If any of those skills that he puts a point into is a class skill, which is in your handbook, you get an additional +3 to that.
Okay.
So, what's a dexterity-based skill?
Sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand.
So Geralt's not like a thief. He's not like a sneak thief. He's not like a burglar. He's nothing
No.
like that. But let's suspend disbelief for a moment
Okay.
and say that Geralt's really good at picking pockets.
Okay.
It's something that's never addressed in the show or something.
Not really, no.
So if we put a point into sleight of hand, with Geralt being a ranger, he won't get a +3 because it's not a class skill for rangers. He will get a +3 from a dexterity modifier, though.
Yeah.
So he'll get 1 point from putting the point into the skill, and then 3 additional points from his dexterity modifier. If it were a class skill for rangers, he would get a 3 instead of that initial 1, so he would end up with a +6.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I did my math right there.
If he didn't, Phoenix, correct him with a wall of text.
So that kind of formula is where you plug in all the skills.
Okay.
Basically, if it's a class skill, you get a +3. If not, you get a +1. And adding the relevant modifier to it. So stuff like knowledge is going to be int-based, when in Geralt's scenario, he'll get another +1 to any int-based skills.
Yeah.
If stuff like athletics and swim is all strength, so on and so forth.
Feats!
Feat! I have the most trouble explaining feats to players because there's so many of them.
Yeah, there is quite a few.
There's so many, and I really just boil it down to it's the stuff you can do. It's the special abilities you get in a video game.
Exactly.
When you get the really strong attack, the really strong combo, that's a feat.
A good example is rogues get Thieves' Cant.
True.
They're just already able to speak a secret underground language.
Right. Or they get sneak attack.
Or how a fighter gets a second wind.
Or a cleric gets channel. Let's just keep naming. But no, like feats are stuff that you choose every time you level up. Certain classes, certain races get different amounts of feats as they go. But it's the stuff that you can do.
Yeah.
One example, and I kind of already thought of this as we were building, weapon finesse for Geralt.
Perfect.
Weapon finesse lets you add, normally when you swing with a sword in Pathfinder and D&D, you add your strength modifier. With the stats, his strength's not that good.
No.
What is good is his dexterity.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Weapon finesse allows you to use your dexterity instead of your strength.
Okay.
When swinging his sword. So that's the feat we're going to give him.
Definitely.
But that's kind of what feats do. Feats do things like that. They allow you to attack one more time, or attack harder, or attack under certain scenarios, like stuff like that. There's a whole long list of feats. There's a whole bunch of books over nothing but feats, and it's in your handbook. Feats are important. They're kind of what makes your character mechanically your character.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so that was feats. Now I guess all that's left is the gear.
Yeah. A lot of DMs do it a lot of different ways. I kind of let my characters have a starter kit.
Yeah.
Just basic stuff like mess kit, flint and steel, stuff like that. I know a lot of DMs give their players an amount of gold and say buy from the handbook.
That's exactly what I do.
Yeah, like hey, you have 100 gold, buy from the handbook, that's your starting items.
Yeah.
Geralt dual wield. He doesn't dual wield. He has 2 swords.
He has 2 swords. One sword made of steel for men, and then one sword made of silver for monsters.
Okay.
It's very edgy.
Very edgy.
Which
Like
is,
the swords.
It's good though. So how I would do that, I would have it come into game. Say like I was playing a Witcher. I was playing Geralt. If I had a player playing Geralt, I would say you lost your silver sword. You now have to go on a little mini quest to get a new one, if that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
Because I feel like letting them really only start out with like one main weapon and a dagger is just the most basic how I do it.
Okay. And again, that's up to DM discretion.
Of course.
Every DM's going to do it different ways. Really, just talk to your DM.
Exactly. That's all you got to do.
Figure out ways to do it. But so yeah, we
have made Geralt of Rivia our half-elf ranger.
Yep, he's got weapon finesse,
he does.
a high dexterity, an okay intelligence, and kind of average everywhere else.
So, what do we do now?
We play D&D. And the finish.
Credits roll.
So we've made the character. We're kind of ready to play. Like I said, you roll d20s and add numbers. It's all in your handbooks, and we've kind of done our best to explain what we could here.
That we have.
And
all that's missing is you. Do 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 do. Yeah. So
next episode, we are going to talk directly to you,
the
Mr.
DM. The DM to the DM.
The DM to the DM. Next episode, we're going to be talking about the DM, talking about what you need to do if you are the dungeon master or game master, what you need to do to prepare for this, because
It's a whole other game.
You've strapped into a fun ride, my friend.
But you know what? It will be very rewarding.
It's fulfilling.
Tune in next week when we
This again?
grab a Gregorian guy.
Thank you. Very
Thank
cool.
you.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Guys, if you like listening to us talk about shit, you can check out any of our podcasts, Mac Chats or Not My Jam. Mac Chats is a general podcast. Not My Jam is a music podcast.
Yes.
If you like watching us do things, you can catch us on Twitch, me at twitch.tv/chanceofrain.
And me over at twitch.tv/HouseMac every Saturday and Sunday.
If you like the hoodie I'm wearing, you can buy it on Teespring. Guys, we are running a sale. Yep, we're running a sale.
We are doing a sale right now. Use code YouTube at checkout to get 10% off of your entire order.
We've got House Mac hoodies. We've got Not My Jam hoodies. We've got lots of different shirts and hats and
Stickers of every member of House Mac.
And thank you guys again for watching.
Yeah,
That's got ramen juice in it.
that it does.
Hey, Phoenix. Call me.
Don't tell Phoenix to call you.
Why not?
Because Phoenix already talks to us. Don't talk to us, Phoenix!
And hey, if we ever strike it out on YouTube, we got everything set up for amateur porn.
Exactly.
Yeah, go for
Can you see the giant hole in my pants exposing my cock and balls?
No.
Good. Oh, it's overflowing!
The urine of the sea.
I got stuff on the script. Hey, Phoenix, show me your penis.
We're recording.
Oh, hey.
2 2s, 2 1s.
I didn't press record. I don't know why, my brain just shut off.
Your brain just said, hold the camera pointing at it.
I'm like, I got this. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Did you know that the geese at the park are free? Like, you can just take them. Like, no one's gonna stop you. No one's gonna stop you. You can just fucking take them, dude.
This is my goose now.
We are recording. Hey, Phoenix.
This is for Phoenix.
This is for you.
Hey, baby.
Hey.
Do-do-do-do-do. Let's get the dongle and camera
No.
equipment out of here.
Let my dongle go.
I will grab your dongle. Hey, it's time to wake
I
up.
will jump. Hey.
The ants will come.
Strength, dexterity, we're on that part.
Phoenix, cut that. If I find that in the video, I will actually take this axe and murder you. My dad watches these videos.
Does he really?
I think so.
That's wholesome.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Hi, Phoenix. If there's any weird, out of context stuff, can you put it after the outro music?